G'day. We've arrived here in León after a 19-kilometre walk from Mansilla. This is the cathedral behind me. León was initially established in the last century before Jesus was born, the last century BC, as a Roman settlement, and has developed from there. Quite a wonderful history, but let me first of all tell you about our walk from Mansilla. We were a bit reluctant to do this because we had heard that really it's just a long walk through León's industrial centre, which is quite boring. However, let me tell you that the first 7 kilometres out of Mansilla is just wonderful. You come to the old walls as you come out of Mansilla. We went through them initially when we came in yesterday. This morning we went out of them and along the river, just beautiful walk from the river, winding through different forms of farmland. Quite a few farmhouses along the way to look at, different vegetation. For us, we had just beautiful azure blue skies that we walked through. I just want to recommend that. People say, you know, don't do this bit because it's boring. Well, the first 7 kilometres is anything but. We, after 7 kilometres, arrived at Puente Villarente, which has a 20-arched bridge going over its particular river, and that itself is a wonderful view. You come up through these golden poplars, at least in November, across a specially built pilgrim bridge, across some rough terrain, and then down to see the 20-arched puente or bridge there that is quite wonderful. You walk alongside that and out the other side of the town. That is when it is that the beauty and the rural landscape is left behind and you come into the outskirts of the industrial area, and it is from there a bit of a hike. 13 kilometres into León, and we're passing past factories, past shops and depots and sales rooms. Yeah, just it is a bit of a trudge, but it's worthwhile. About 3 to 4 kilometres out of León, you suddenly see León and the spires of the cathedral. Hey, there's a bit of excitement. We know that we're near. So we continue to wind through the industrial suburbs until we come to the narrow streets of León. There's yet another bridge, another arched bridge on the outskirts of León, and we wound our way up to the city walls. Quite amazing. Built in the 14th century, so thick and absolutely fortified. In fact, they are double walls, as you can see from the still just here. We continued to wind through the narrow streets of León until we found our particular hotel. Now, interestingly enough, the hotel we discovered was built in 1370, 653 years old. And I tell you what, the staircase bears witness to that, because first of all, you sort of go down and it's leading to the side. You can see the old nails deep in the timber. I guess in the last 650 years, the staircase has been renovated, but it's still pretty old and it just creaks, just creak, creak, creak. Testimony to the fact that here we are in old León. Now the cathedral behind me has quite a history as well. The cathedral was built on old Roman baths, and this cathedral is absolutely massive in size. The Roman baths were even larger, so there must have been a lot of soldiers crowding in to those baths. The cathedral was first built in the 12th century, in the 10th century, 916, they did the first cathedral. And that was built as a sign of gratitude by the king of Esteban de Gormez, who had overcome the Moors and wanted to give thanks to God. So he built the first cathedral on this site. It was the Benedictine order came in. Again, there are the Benedictines to oversee and to minister within the cathedral, but that only really lasted about a century. Political turmoil and more Moorish raids rendered the cathedral into really bad condition. So a second cathedral was built, and it was consecrated in the 11th century, 1073. Again, because of the foundations on which it was built, that really only lasted 150 years, and a construction of the third cathedral, this one that is standing there, was commenced at 1205. But again, it had the structural foundation problems, mainly because, again, being built on the foundation of the baths. As this cathedral was built, it was really wanted to be known as the perfect work of Gothic art, the dematerialization of Gothic art, it says, to the reduction of their walls to a minimum, to be replaced by stained glass, constituting one of the largest collections of medieval stained glass in the world. It has 125 windows with 1,800 square metres of stained glass. However, being built from limestone and again on the foundations of the baths, its structure was pretty risky, and it's undergone in the last 700 years a lot of reconstruction, because it really needed a lot of work. Matter of fact, extensive rebuilding was done after 1857, when stones began to fall from the top, and there was a earthquake in Lisbon in 1755, which somehow affected the cathedral here. So that's just a history of this wonderful cathedral. You'll see some stills of the magnificent stained glass windows within there. There is a tourist train if you wish to get on. It's right in the main square of León. You can jump on that for about €7 and go for a tour of these particular wonderful points of interest here in León. We're just going to scan now as we finish to the Philips radio ad over there. From the 1960s, any of you who were around in the 1950s and 60s might remember Philips radio and the invention of TV, which was overtaking radio. How about that? So there's a bit more history here in León. Our meditation today was on Jesus turning water into wine, and because I've been talking for a long time, there's the bell of the cathedral. Can you hear? Ringing I think 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. But yeah, it was just Jesus turning water into wine. And I just want to leave you with this thought, that there was the royal bridegroom come from heaven to meet with us, his flesh and blood, walking with us, walking among us, going there even to a wedding. But the significant thing is that he took the water and he turned it into wine, a real change of the substance. Such is the power of the Almighty. And I was just thinking, it's what happens in the Eucharist, isn't it? That as we take the bread, it is transformed by the same Lord in heaven into his flesh. As we drink the wine, it is transformed by the royal bridegroom into his blood, that we indeed can feast on him as a real substance to our spiritual lives. Just a thought to leave you with today as we stand in front of this magnificent cathedral. God bless you.